So welcome to TechnoDadLife, where we build, learn, and create as a community. And so for us, what this channel is all about is we have fun with servers. And so today what we're going to be doing is actually doing something useful with our servers. And so I know normally, if you're like me, that you don't do a lot of useful things with your server. At least they're useful for me, but not to the greater good. And so today what we're going to be doing is installing the Boinc client, which can use our server to do things like find cures for cancer, genetic diseases, find out about asteroids, and even search for space aliens. What we're going to be doing is going over the install and towards the end we're going to have some extra tips just to make it a little more satisfactory. And so if you like this video, make sure you like, and if you haven't already, subscribe, and here we go now. And a special thank you to all my patrons, who without your support this channel would not be possible. And if you haven't already, please think about becoming a patron and supporting the channel you love. So what is Boinc? And so Boinc is a way to distribute computing tasks to different people all over the world who are willing to let go of some of their server or some of their computer work or computer cycles in order to help the world, basically. So Boinc has a bunch of different projects, which we'll show you in a second, but let's take a look at see what it looks like when it's actually running. Right in this section right here, you can see that I have Rosetta at home, which is for cancer and other things, and it's been running at about an hour and 25 minutes, and it's about 15 to 16% through these projects. Now down below it shows you how everything is being used. So basically I have 16 gigs free, 1 gig is being used, and 6 gigs are being used by other programs, and the Rosetta is using basically 100% of the disk usage for what we're doing. And where I'm getting all these is actually something called the Boinc Manager. And so the Boinc Manager is, this is actually the Windows client, and so we can use the Windows client to actually tell our server what to do. And so we'll show you how to do that here in a second. So the first thing we want to do is go to boinc.berkeley.edu. And if we come to this page, we're going to download this client and then install it on Windows. And so we need the client actually to control the server, otherwise we have to do things through the command line. So next what we're going to do is go to Docker Hub and search for Boinc/client. And it has a bunch of different things, and let's just go through here as we go. And so if we scroll down to usage, this gives us the general idea of how to set up the container. And today what we'll do is set this up on Portainer using the Stacks tab, which is basically Docker Compose. But you can use the same configuration to do this on any Docker OMV4, OMV5. And at the very end, I'll show you just a quick way to do it from the command line if you don't want to use the Docker file or want to use the Docker commands, or if you're on OMV4 and you're not sure how to do this, it's very easy to do. So if we scroll down a little farther, we see different tags that we can add on to the end of it, each of the things. So we have x86, and then we have ARM, so you can do this on Raspberry Pi or a regular x86 computer. And so those tags we're going to add at the end of the name, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So then we get the right container for our chip system, so then we can compute as efficiently as possible. And so here, this is how you would set up a AMD GPU. The things that you'll notice different is here it has :AMD on the end, and then it's added these two sections right here. Now for the Intel one, you notice that here we have Intel, and then we just have the one line there. Legacy Intel, again this one line, and then it says Intel/legacy. And so you're going to notice a pattern here. For most of these, or most systems, all we have to do is change two lines or add one line and add a little appendage onto the name there. Now, for multiple GPUs, so this is a special case. So you need to actually install the NVIDIA drivers first on your computer before you actually install the Docker. And then there's actually special instructions for the NVIDIA Docker, and that's right there. And then when we go down, we have to add runtime NVIDIA, again, that same line, and then multiple GPU. For a single GPU, we still need this, and then just NVIDIA right there. And you can see actually we can do it for VirtualBox again, and again the two areas that we need to be aware of. And then finally for Raspberry Pi, we need to add this at the end of it. There are no extra things to add. So when we put in the client name, then we have to put colon ARM32 version 7. Next we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And here's the Docker Compose file, and basically all we're going to do is copy that. So next what we're going to do is go to Portainer and then click on the Stacks button. So the Stacks button is right there. And now what we have is this area here. And this is where we're going to paste in our Docker Compose file. So go back to the Docker page and simply copy this and then go back over to Portainer and paste that in. So you just want to paste that directly. You don't want to change anything. Why it took me a while to do this is I actually deleted a space in here and then it didn't work. So just leave it alone. Don't change anything except for the two things that we show you how to change. So now that we have that pasted in, let's go back to Boink Docker Hub. We're going to scroll up, and so basically this part of the directions is the same for each one. You just have to change the one or two things that you have to change for your system. And so for me, I have an Intel system. So I have to change two lines, add the device and then add the colon Intel. So first thing I'm going to do that. So copy colon Intel. Go to Portainer, and where that goes is right here next to client. Simply paste that and magically it's on the end of it, and that's all we have to do there. Next we go down to the bottom and we hit enter and then backspace twice, and we're going to type in devices colon and then hit enter again, then tab and then the dash, and then we're going to copy this line right here, go back and paste that there. Now all we have to do is add a name and then we have to start our container. So if we scroll up to the top, we're going to call this Boink. And we don't want to enable access control. And then we can hit deploy stack. So basically this will take a little while, and what it's doing is downloading the Docker image, and then it will make the Docker container using the variables that we put in. And here you can see the Docker is now up and running, or the container is now up and running. And if we click on containers on the side, we see it's there, it's running there. And if we press on the little piece of paper, that will give us the logs. So now we're going to go to our Boinc Manager on our desktop. And so we've opened this up, and so for me it just automatically started running because I already had the file system here. But the next thing what you would do is add project, and then you would pick out one of your projects that you wanted to do. So right now I'm doing Rosetta, and if we click on Rosetta you can see information about it. And so it's leading to finding cures for major human diseases such as cancer, HIV, malaria, Alzheimer's, so on and so forth. SETI at home is on here too, and I'm not using this as an example right now because SETI is having server problems. They don't have enough room for their data, so they're not actually downloading a lot of data right now. Okay. So once you find a project that you like, just click on it and then go down to the bottom and click next. And then type in your username and password. Most of them actually will ask if you're a new user or not. For some reason this is not for me, but it could be because I'm already logged into another account. then click next, and then finish. I'm just going to click cancel. Okay, so now how do we see what is actually happening on our server? And so we go up to View, go to Advanced, and click on File, and then select Computer. And so right here you want to put in the ID of your server. So mine's already in there. And then the password is 123, and then click OK. And then that brings up your server. And mine is suspended because I just redid everything, and so I just messed up everything. So once you get it running, don't mess up everything like I just did, trying to show somebody else how to do it. Just to show you that I got my Boink up again, I unboinked my Boink, but I just wanted to show you a few things before we go on here. So if we go back to Simple View, so it's under View and then Simple View, that takes us back to this client. And so what you're seeing on now is basically this is my OMV server that's doing it. If I switch back to that view, if I wanted to put in my server, my desktop server, I could do that here, and then the statistics would be up for that. So other things on here, if you go to projects, you click on that, you can go down to here to home page, and that will bring in your the home page of the project you have. Here's the Rosetta at home page. Also, there's things like message boards and accounts. And under accounts, you can set your CPU usage. And so for this, I think I have it at 90 or 100%. You can also see your stats for the project. So this is a great way to just check on your usage. But basically, since you have a server, you can just let it run all the time and not worry about it. I have, this will use electricity, so if you have a non-energy efficient machine, it will take a lot of energy. I'm running these on a NUC, and I'm going to set it on the other NUC, so basically they can run 24/7 without using much energy. You can also use it on a Raspberry Pi. Again, it just takes longer to do the task, but it is more energy efficient. If you go down to tasks, you can see here are the tasks for this project. But so now, what's the quick and easy way to do this? If you don't want to do that, you can do it from the command line. I'll show you how to do that right now. So the first thing you want to make sure is that you have PuTTY installed, and PuTTY helps us log into our computer if you don't know what that is. Next, click on PuTTY, type in your server address, and if you don't know what that is, it's right here in the taskbar. That's your server IP address. Then click Open, and then log in as root and your password. So the next thing we want to do is just copy this, but if we have any additions, then this is anything we need to change for our system. This is where we do it. So here we have the name. We've already added the device, net host, PID is host, so all this is the same. And then when we get down here, I have Intel Legacy. We'll just do this for the Raspberry Pi. So we're going to copy that, paste that in there. Oops, I have 2 colons, so I have to take out 1. And actually for the Raspberry Pi, we don't even actually need this line, so you can get rid of that. Everything else is the same. And so then the next thing what we do is just copy this. Oh, before I go along, I just have a special thanks for Cola7, who actually showed up this script, and CoreLoud99, who helped me in the forums, and he does, I don't know, he or she, posted their configuration because I added an extra space so mine wouldn't work, so just be very careful. So we would just copy this, and if we had a Raspberry Pi, and then paste that in there, and then hit enter. Mine didn't work because it's for an ARM issue. So, but anyways, that's how you do it. But otherwise, that's it. And so go out there and help save the world with Openmediavault. and Docker, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.